Welcome to today's video. Today is my latest installment of my deep dive into the 2024 presidential election series. Today's video focuses on the state of Florida. Florida and its 30 electoral votes, one of the larger prizes up for grabs in the 2024 electoral map. Florida, once a very competitive swing state, has started to trend a little bit more towards the Republican side, though it's still very competitive. Today, I'll be going over some recent election results from Florida, some polling, and some key counties to watch. Starting with the voting history of Florida, in 2020, Florida voted for Donald Trump by 3.4% margin of victory. In 2016, Donald Trump won the state of Florida by 1.2%. And in 2012, Barack Obama won the state of Florida by 0.88%. Currently, in the electoral politics polling average, Donald Trump currently leads with 50.3% to Kamala Harris's 44.2%. It is also very important to note that Florida is the home state of Donald Trump, so that would likely give him an added boost or added bonus come election night. Now, for the national vote, in 2020, Joe Biden won the popular vote of the United States by 4.4%. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won it by 2.1%. And in 2012, Barack Obama won it by 3.9%. Currently, the average poll for 2024 has Harris leading over Trump 1.5%, which is less than Hillary Clinton's 2016 numbers, where she won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College. Harris is running even farther behind that. Also worth noting, across the last three elections, the average of the popular vote is 3.5%, so Harris is running 2 points behind what the average usually would be. Looking at how Florida votes compared to the national vote compared to the popular vote, in 2020, Florida voted 7.8% more Republican than the popular vote of the United States. In 2016, Florida voted 3.3% more Republican than the popular vote of the United States. And in 2012, Florida voted 3.1% more Republican than the popular vote of the United States, an average popular vote difference of 4.7% across the last three elections. Looking at some forecasters for the state of Florida in the 2024 presidential election, Real Clear Politics currently has Florida listed as lean for Donald Trump. Sabado Crystal Ball has the state of Florida as likely for Donald Trump. Inside Elections has it as lean for Trump. Decision Desk HQ in the Hill has it as lean for Trump. And Cook Political Report has it as likely for Trump. Some key counties I'm watching for in the state of Florida. There are a lot of competitive counties in Florida. So the ones I'm looking at are Miami-Dade, where Miami is, Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is, Pinellas County, which is where St. Pete is, and Duval County, which is where Jacksonville is. And two big cities I'm also watching for are Tallahassee and Orlando. These will be some of the biggest Democratic vote baskets of the night on election night. Miami-Dade, this is Miami. Miami-Dade was thought to be a long-time Democratic county, including, of course, if you're a fan of elections history, you'll know everything about Miami-Dade in the 2000 election, but that's for a different time and a different video. But in 2012, Miami-Dade was won by Barack Obama by 23.7%. In 2016, it was won by Hillary Clinton by 29.6%. And from 2016 to 2020, it swung over 20 points, going from 29.6 to just 7.4% win for Joe Biden. A massive swing in just 4 years. So Miami-Dade is certainly one I'm interested in watching because I am very curious to see, does that 7.4% get even smaller? A lot of it could be people from maybe other parts of Florida or out of state moving into Miami, but totally for the reasons I'm really not sure. The fact is it has gotten less Democrat by over 20 points since 2016. Hillsborough County, this is where Tampa is, also having a lot of influx of people moving in to Hillsborough County, one of the highest growing areas, I believe, not only in Florida, but also in the United States. In 2012, it voted 6.7% for Barack Obama. In 2016, 6.9% for Hillary Clinton. And in 2020, 6.9% again for Joe Biden. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Tampa to see if there's any movement there, whether more Democratic or more Republican is what I'm watching for in Hillsborough. Pinellas County, this is where St. Pete is. It was won by Barack Obama in 2012 by 5.6%. It was won by Donald Trump in 2016 by 1.1%. And then Joe Biden flipped it back in 2020 by just 0.2%. This is probably the closest county in the state of Florida that I'm watching by percentages. It's going to be very close. Whoever wins this county, it's really anyone's guess. I'm not sure it really has too much of an impact on the final result, as we'll be getting to later in the video, but it's certainly a very close one I'm keeping an eye on. Duval County, this is where the city of Jacksonville is. It was Republican 3.6% in 2012. Donald Trump won it in 2016 by 1.4%, and it was won by Joe Biden in 2020 by 3.8%. It's very funny that a lot of Florida statewide and a lot of counties have been moving farther to the Republican side, like Miami-Dade. But however, in Duval, it seems to be one of the counties that's actually moving more Democratic. So that'll be interesting to watch. This county is certainly capable of going Democrat or Republican on election night, so I'm watching that very, very closely. The city of Tallahassee is 23.6% margin of victory for Joe Biden in 2020, and Orlando is 18.2% margin of victory for Joe Biden in 2020 also. Looking at the map of Florida in 2020 of Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, statewide, Donald Trump got 51.2% of the vote, Joe Biden got 47.9%. I have the counties I mentioned in the previous slide, as well as some additional counties that I felt were important and worth noting, and the competitiveness of Florida. Starting on the western coast near Tampa and Pinellas County, where St. Pete is, Pinellas County was 49.6 to 49.4 in 2020, extremely close. Hillsborough County, this is where Tampa is, was 52.9 to 46 for Biden over Trump. Sarasota County, just south of Hillsborough, was 54.8 to 44.4, a win for Trump. Monroe County, which is right next to Miami-Dade, was 53.5 to 45.6. Duval County, up in the northern part of the state, was 51.3 to 47.4, a win for Joe Biden. Seminole County, right above Orlando, was 50.8 to 48 for Biden. St. Lucie County, right here in between Martin County and Indian River County and just north of Palm Beach, St. Lucie was won by Donald Trump by 50.4 to Biden's 48.9. And Miami-Dade, of course, home to Miami, 53.4 for Biden, 46.1 for Trump. And in Tallahassee, 63.5% of the vote right here in Leon County for Biden, 35.3 for Trump. Orlando, right here in Orange County, 61% for Biden, 37.9 for Trump. So this is actually one of the bigger margins of victory we've seen in Florida in the 2000s. Donald Trump winning the state by a little over 3 points, 3.4%. This is one of the bigger margins we've seen, and even bigger and double of what 2016 was. We're looking at the 2016 map. Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton by 1.2%, 49 to 47.8. This is a very, very close state, competitive state in 2016. Pinellas County was 48.6 to 47.5, Trump winning it in 2016. Hillsborough was 51.5 to 44.7. Sarasota, 54.3 to 42.7 for Trump winning that one. Duval was 48.9 to 47.5. That was a Trump win. Seminole County, 48.7, 47.1. That was a Trump win as well. St. Lucie was 49.9 to 47.5. That was also a Trump win. Miami-Dade was a much larger win for Clinton than it was for Biden, 63.7 to 34.1. Looking up at Tallahassee and Leon County was 60.5 to 35.4 for Biden over Trump. And Orlando was 60.4 to 35.7 advantage for Clinton over Trump as well. So definitely the areas in Florida got a lot redder, doubling the margin of victory from 2016 to 2020. Now we go back even further to 2012, where the last time Barack Obama, the Democrat, won the state of Florida, very, very close, 50% for Obama, 49.1% for Mitt Romney, a very close race. Pinellas County is 52.2 to 46.6. It was won by Obama this time, right here. Hillsborough County, 52.8 to 46.2, was won by Obama. Sarasota was won 53.3 to 42.7 for Mitt Romney. Monroe County, 49.7, 49.3, was won very, very narrowly by Obama. Duval County was 51.4 to 47.8. That was won by Mitt Romney. Seminole County, 52.7, 46.2. That was won by Mitt Romney. St. Lucie County was 53.5, 45.7. It was actually won by Obama this time. So Trump flipped that from 2012 to 2016. And Miami-Dade, 61.7 to 37.9, a win for Obama. And finishing off with Tallahassee with 61.3, 37.6, a win for Obama. And Orlando, 58.7 to 40.4, a win for Obama. So those are the countywide maps of Florida. As I mentioned, the areas I'm watching for an election night, I'm watching the Tampa, St. Pete area. I'm watching the Miami-Dade. I'm watching around Orlando and surrounding counties, up near Jacksonville, of course. And then keeping an eye on the margins in Tallahassee. The Panhandle we expect to be fully Republican. Not really a ton to watch there. Maybe some of the counties like Sarasota, south of Tampa I'm watching, and Manatee County to see what the margins are. Going into the party vote percentages of the last three elections and using this data to try and predict the 2024 election. In 2020, Donald Trump got 51.2% of the vote, In 2016, Trump got 49% of the vote, so that was a margin increase of about 2.2% on the Republican side. And in 2012, Mitt Romney got 49.1%. That, taking the highest numbers now for a range of 51.2 minus 49, that got a difference of 2.2. I then took that number and added it to the high end of 51.2, subtracted it from the low end of 49. That got a range of 46.8% on the low end to 53.4% on the high end. Barring a polling miss, I'm very confident Donald Trump will get somewhere between 46.8 and 53.4 on election night. It's also worth noting the average vote percentage across the last 3 elections is 49.8% on the Republican side. Now, on the Democratic side, in 2020, Joe Biden got 47.9% of the vote. 2016, Hillary Clinton got 47.8%. And in 2012, Barack Obama got 50%. Once again, taking the highest number, 50, minus the lowest number, 47.8, also got a difference of 2.2%. And I took 2.2 and added it to 50, subtracted it from 47.8. That got a range of 45.6 on the low and 52.2 on the high. Certainly, Florida is a state that could potentially be winnable by both sides, and the ranges suggest a very close race. The average vote percentage across the last 3 elections for the Democrats was 48.6, so both the average votes are very close as well, only a 1.2% difference between the two parties. Looking at my prediction for the state of Florida into the 2024 presidential election with its 30 electoral votes, first things first, I am predicting that Donald Trump will win the state of Florida, his home state. Most forecasters would agree Florida is going to go red. It's going to go for Trump. The question is the margins. And I actually have Florida doubling what Trump's margin was back in 2020, where he won by 3.4. I have nearly doubling that, going up to 6.3%. And we saw some glimpse of this in the 2022 midterms, where Governor Ron DeSantis performed very, very well in what was supposed to be a Republican wave year. Obviously, that didn't exactly happen, but in the state of Florida, it definitely did. And I think Trump is going to double his margins in a presidential year and bring his margin of victory up to 6.3%. Donald Trump will get 51.8% of the vote. Kamala Harris gets 45.5%. Definitely one of the worst performances in Florida in the last, honestly, since in the 2000s, to be completely honest. The only difference is there's a lot of people moving to Florida that it's making it more of a Republican state and less of a swing state. Kind of in a similar way we can think of maybe Missouri in the early 2000s and 2010s. Maybe in Iowa, maybe something along those lines as well. But I don't think Harris can really do much in the state of Florida to stop Trump from winning the state and likely doubling his 2020 margin. I think it's more likely than not going to happen. Looking now at the electoral map, with the state of Florida added to his column, Donald Trump is now up to 215 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is at 123. I hope you enjoyed this video because I'll be doing every single state on the electoral map leading up until Election Day in my deep dive series. So I hope you please stay tuned for what's next. I believe the state of Georgia will be coming next, so please stay tuned for that. In the meantime, please enjoy this sneak peek at my full 2024 election night prediction. So far, there have not been many surprises yet on election night. Everything has gone pretty much how we expected it to. The 8 p.m. poll closings on the East Coast will be the first potential real test on if there will be any surprises and things will be shaken up. At 8 p.m., we have several states with their polls closing, including some very important key states which may have very important electoral significance. The states with poll closings right now are Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Washington, D.C., Florida, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Tennessee. Let's take a look at the projections we can make at this time. The state of Florida and its 30 electoral votes, the home state of former President Donald Trump, is being categorized at this time as too close to call. Big portions of the state of Florida have their polls closed at 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. This poll closing is the remaining parts of the Panhandle, which closed at 8 p.m. So there's actually a large percentage of votes already reporting from Florida. We'll be getting to that in a few minutes. But Florida has now been characterized as too close to call. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.